Yeah, I'm Peter. I worked for about 3 years in the creamery, and then I transferred into the lab and worked the last 10 years in the lab when I was there.
What were you doing there in the lab?
Testing all the milk and the cream, fruit juice, anything that we produce basically, to make sure it was healthy, it was what it said it was, chemically wise, and it was safe as in bacterial quality. So, yeah. And we also tested all the sort of water and utilities that came in and off the site as well.
And what was your specific bit of that job? What to do? What exactly did you have to do?
Well, I did all of that testing, and then I was a shift manager for the lab, so I controlled the shift team as well. So, yeah.
And so what would happen? The milk would come in?
Milk would come in.
What type of machines, and then how would you actually test it?
It came in on tankers. Somebody would take a sample of that whole tanker. We would test that to make sure it was of the quality that it was required to come into site, that there wasn't excess water or any chemicals in it. Obviously, it's probably full of bacteria because it was raw milk, so we weren't too worried about that. And then it was processed, and we would then test the milk as a final product that would go out to supermarkets or delivery to doorsteps, and make sure it met the standards that was required, and also there was no bacterial within that,
So did it come into you guys first in a way when it first came in?
Yes, yeah. So we tested each tanker, so you could tell, and you could tell which farm each tanker picked up from. So they would take samples occasionally from the farm, so we could trace it back from which farm it came from, which tanker it came into, which silo it was held into, which pasteuriser it went through, so you could trace it right the way back to. So if you picked up a bottle of milk from a supermarket, brought it into us, we would then be able to tell you exactly which part of the plant it went through, at what time of day, and it would trace it right back to which farm it came from.
Did you ever have to send stuff back when stuff got rejected?
No, because we would test it before it went out to site, so we would be able to stop anything that was perhaps outside of spec before it went out to supermarkets. So nothing would leave site before we checked it out and make sure it was safe to go out.
What's your full name?
Peter Coish.